Stell Shades in the Field with your host Joe King is brought to you with support from Weekend Woodsman. Find them on YouTube. And Got Pursuits Stalker's Cradle, the firearm carry aid. Keep your gun at the ready. Got Pursuit LLC. And Deer 30 Mineral. This ain't your grandpa's salt lick. Legendary hunts start at Deer 30. Thanks for joining me today on Stell Shades in the Field. Today's hunt's going to take us to the Michigan deer woods. We're going to see some up-close crossbow hunting action. But first, let me explain a little bit about my product, Stell Shades. Hey, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Stell Shades, the Stell Shades patented design was designed to hide your eyes from game animals. Eyewear cannot fog up, eyewear is extremely durable, and it works with any hat and mask combination. So if you like getting up and close to game animals, without a blind, without being in a stand, and you like hunting on the ground at eye level, this is a show for you. Stay tuned. So it's about the second week into this season. I was doing some preliminary scouting with a video camera, and I got some great video of this 8-point buck. He's a big 8, looks like. He's not the biggest one on the block, I know that, but he's a good deer. So in trying to determine where to set up, I knew there's bedding in possibly 2 different areas. And the deer seemed to travel across the top of this hill between both these bedding areas on a regular basis. The only spot I could sit was in this sorghum field so I could deal with the wind and deal with the movement of the deer. First morning, I had a few young deer come out, and one of them decided to come up and take a look at the Stell Shades up close. The deer didn't get spooked, never made eye contact. You can see he spins around about 5 times, decides to finally walk off at the end and continue feeding about 50 yards away. Because he just couldn't figure me out. He couldn't see my eyes. I wasn't making eye contact. The whole time though, I'm able to watch him, I'm able to watch the other deer in the field, and I'm able to see what they're all doing. So that basically wraps up the morning hunt. I packed up my gear, I headed home, and I came back later in the afternoon. Upon returning to the spot I hunted previous that day, I set up my cameras and prepared myself for a long evening hunt. It had only been maybe an hour and a half, and I noticed this buck coming across the top of the hill from my right. I immediately knew it was the same 8-point that I had caught on video previously.
Bet.
So I bleeded at the buck, I stopped the buck, and now I'm trying to get the safety off on the crossbow. And I've just come to the realization that I don't have a bolt in the crossbow because I can't get the safety off. And when I reach up and I realize there's nothing there, panic sets in. Well, at that point, I'm scrambling to get a bolt in the crossbow. In the meantime, this buck is making a scrape, and to keep his attention, I bleed again to draw him my way. Well, let's see how this plays out. Keep watching.
Bet. Bet. Punch him. Oh my God.
So somehow I managed to get the bolt into the crossbow as the deer was coming at me. And at one point the deer stopped because it thought he saw some movement. And that's about the same time I was leveling the crosshairs right on the buck on his chest. And I was going to take a frontal shot. I didn't know how much closer he was going to come before I had to take that shot. Well, my next move was to hit that safety, and he just started to take another step forward when I hit the safety, and he heard that click, and that click, he raised his head. Well, I knew at that point it was game over, and I didn't think I was going to get another opportunity, and that's when I pulled the trigger. So the deer was within 20 yards. I estimated a little further than that, so I was a little high on the shot. You'll notice that the shot actually went a little wide. I hit a weed with the bolt, and it drove that bolt a little bit wide, about 9 inches. So it didn't hit the deer back far. It's not a great shot at all. Not where I wanted to hit the deer at all. It was a mortal wound. The deer did run off and die. He didn't run maybe 90 yards across the edge of that field to the edge of that field, and went in, decided inside the woods and collapsed, and he was done. Pretty fortunate on a couple points. One was that I was able to get the bolt into the crossbow, and the second was the fact that I did have a bad shot on the deer, but it was a mortal wound. I did get the femoral artery, and the deer did pile up at about 90 yards. It wasn't the best shot, but he didn't go very far. This is a buck I do have him on video. I think I have him on velvet, and then I think I have him again another time. So. Pretty excited. Stealth shades worked phenomenal. I called him right back to me. He was looking right through me and walking my way. Stopped. At that point, I realized I'm trying to get a safety off the crossbow. The crossbow won't go off safety if you don't have a bolt in it. So, so I had to put a bolt in the crossbow. I don't know how I did that without him freaking out and seeing me. But then by the time I got it in, I got it latched in, and he heard the click as the safety went off, and then he stopped and he looked, and I thought, oh, it's now or never. And I think he's about 30 yards at that point. I took the shot. I don't know if he kind of tried to duck the shot a little bit or moved. I hit him back, and the air went back, and I think got a femoral artery, but it hit him just behind the chest. But I was taking a frontal shot right at him. That's all he presented me. I didn't think I had much more time to take another shot, so if he had turned sideways, he'd have probably been gone at that point. So anyway, great buck. It's been a little bit of a dry spell, but it's kind of fun to connect with him. And bucks are starting to move now, so it's going to make it fun next couple of weeks. So anyway, Stealth Shades. Thanks for joining us at Stealth Shades in the Field, and be sure to check us out on Facebook at Stealth Shades, and on Instagram at Stealth Shades USA. And don't forget to check out our website at www.stealthshadesusa.com. Get yourself a pair of eyewear.